What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. After a very long hiatus, welcome back to Wrestling with Omer. I am, of course, your host, Omer Q. You can follow me on Twitter at RealOmerQ. Follow Real Take Wrestling on Twitter at RealTakeW. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google or there's a million places to listen to this on the audio format. Be sure to hit that follow button. There we go. And leave a 5-star review as well. Welcome to all the live homies in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Y'all know how this show works. You put a question in the chat, or you put your questions in the chat. That's usually what we talk about. We prioritize ones that are through Super Chat, so you want to guarantee your question or statement is read out on the air. Please do leave a Super Chat. In addition to doing that, it's a great way to support the channel and help us grow, but liking and subscribing are just as good as well. There's a lot to talk about today. Of course, we're at the heels of the end of the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. The men's and women's winners were determined last night. We also had Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. There was so much news coming out of that. The return of Josh Alexander, one of the most dominant wrestlers, in-ring wrestlers in Impact history, making his return. And on top of all of it, we had one of the greatest TV matches that I have ever seen. FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold. It was great. 58 minutes of just absolute impeccable wrestling. I'll talk about that later in the show. But of course, like I said before, want to hear from y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell. Leave your questions in the chat. Oh, buddy. What a weekend of professional wrestling it's been. It was only one day, and we had Slammiversary. Eric Young came back from the dead. We need to talk about this first, because this is, to me, the biggest story of anything that happened this weekend. Eric Young, who was killed off in Impact Wrestling just last year, who signed with WWE, who killed off on Impact Wrestling television. Eric Young made his Impact Wrestling return. He is not dead. They've reformed and he's joined Team Canada. And here I am wondering. I'm like, look, Adam Cole coming back from the dead is one thing, right? That was done on BTE. That was the whole thing. But he was killed off on TV. Eric Young was killed off on TV. Like murdered. Like straight up, no, he is dead. He is never coming back. And a year later, it's like, yeah, it's pro wrestling. Like, and that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Like, people can be as mad as they want about this. People can be like, oh my goodness, this is spitting in the face of kayfabe. I am like, bro, like spitting in, there's no kayfabe anymore. It's like, if you get it, you get it. That's what pro wrestling is at this point. If you get it, you get it. And it still makes a good amount of money. But it was funny to me that, like, I was asking, like, I mean, how do we explain this? Eric Young coming back from the dead, and someone just, like, texted me, and I was like, it's wrestling. Like, and look, you don't need a better answer than that. By the way, I did want to do this live on the air since I got it. So I was at Walmart. I'm in the process of, there's a few things that are going to happen, by the way, over the next few days, weeks, probably weeks, months, maybe. This whole space, the place I've been streaming from, as you can tell, like the background has changed a bit. It's because I moved my setup. That is to make room for a few different studio looks. The plan right now is for me to have, a few different looks in this room that I can shoot different videos from, that I can potentially do like in-person live shows from in the future. There's a few different things that I'm mulling around. It wouldn't just be for this channel. I have, of course, 2 other channels that I plan on putting content out on. Real Take Sports, you guys can go check that out. YouTube.com/Real Take Sports, where I do that as well. And then there's another one called The Omer Q Show, which is completely separate from both of those. Not sports, not wrestling. It's a little more culture, society, maybe a little political vibe. Anyway, so go check those 2 things out. More to come on that in the future. Anyway, I was at like Walmart and looking for like lights, looking for whatever I could find, right? Just to spruce up the backgrounds a little bit. And I stumbled across something that I hadn't seen. Like I've been going to stores, I've been looking on Amazon, and I've never come across it till today. Yep, your eyes do not deceive you. That is Prime Energy. And I know there's a lot of controversy around this right now. Apparently, according to the FDA, I probably shouldn't be drinking this. However, according to the FDA, oh, well, not according to the FDA. I mean, according to basic logic, you probably shouldn't be eating Taco Bell either. Yeah, I had Taco Bell the other night. Um, so here's the deal. I have never tried Prime, the energy drink, nor the hydration drink. This is the energy drink, by the way. This is apparently the thing I'm not supposed to be drinking, but I've never tried it. I'm gonna try it right here, and I'm gonna let y'all know whether or not this is real take approved. Look, first of all, I want to be abundantly clear. I don't approve of anything Logan Paul has ever said. So let's get that out of the way. It's not an endorsement of Logan Paul at all as a person. This is just me trying an energy drink. Anyway, but this is like Logan Paul's big thing, right? Like Logan Paul, like professional wrestler, Logan Paul has put a lot of time and effort into marketing his energy drink, into marketing Prime. And today I'm gonna try it for the first time ever. I'm gonna try it and tell y'all how it is. So let's see. Oh, by the way, 10 calories in this baby. It says no sugar, no fat. Is that no sugar? I don't know if I believe that. How much caffeine is in this thing? Oh, we're about to find out. All right. My first prime. There we go. My first time. I'm too take Omer. My first time trying Prime Energy. All right, let's do it. That is very sweet. That is very, very sweet. It's like artificially sweet. Like you can tell there's like all those like damn oof. Wow, that is like you know those like sweeteners that say zero sugar? It's like he pumped all that sweetener into this. Like that's what this is. I mean, strawberry watermelon, that is my favorite flavor of vitamin water, I will say. But wow, that is. Does it say how much caffeine is in this? Ah, coconut. 200 milligrams. Okay. All right. We're going to start with 2 sips there and see where that takes us. Oh, my God. We got Jermaine in the chat. Good friend of the show, Jermaine, saying, I'm so happy. Says, I'm so happy Ruby Soho put over Willow. She's always beat her, and I always believed when she gets her big win, it'll be for the championship. I mean, look, this is a big win. Like, and I know, like, a lot of people are down, like, myself included. Like, I am a bit, like, to me, it's a bit unfortunate that Ruby Soho wasn't able to win the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. I thought that last year she should have been the winner. I thought the tournament was made for her, and it was an opportunity to make her feel like a big deal again. It didn't happen. I think this year, I have no problem at all. I love Willow Nightingale. I think she deserves it. And I think like there's like no situation here. Like this is one of those situations where you couldn't have had a bad pick, I don't think. I don't think if you had gone either way, it would have been bad. Because both of them deserve it. Both of them are capable. Both of them are just awesome in the ring. Willow getting this win, though, does mean more, of course, because she's a bit newer to the wider wrestling audience. And I think that this is going to help propel her, like you said, Jermaine, into like another level and maybe into a championship contender. Because she's more than capable of it, obviously. She's over. Like, I took my father to a professional wrestling show, his first ever professional wrestling show, and he and I have been watching wrestling for years. The first ever show I took my dad to was Dynamite in Baltimore a few weeks ago, or I guess at this point a few months ago. And he watches AEW now and then, but like doesn't really keep up with it. He just like he knows the big stars. He knows Kenny, he knows Britt Baker, DMD, and all that. But like but he was into it. Willow Nightingale comes out and the claps start happening. And I look over at my dad, and my dad is like immediately like, let's go. He's like clapping, he's into it. He's like, yeah, like she's got good energy. And then Willow does what Willow does. And it's because she's got that effect on people. Willow Nightingale is like, I don't even want to compare her to like Bayley from NXT because I think it's different. But it's kind of like that. Like Willow Nightingale, on top of being a great professional wrestler, has this infectious, it has this infectious trait about her that everyone around her, everyone in the arena, just gets an elevated, sense of joy from watching her entrance, and then like she gets in the ring, like she's just one of like, you immediately are like into it. Like the energy feels different when she's there. I love Willow Nightingale. I think she deserves this. I'm happy she got this, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. AEW booking their women's division a little better recently, a little better, but I need to see more improvement. That is, I'm going to be hard on them for their women's division. I will always be hard on all wrestling companies about that, but it was a very good decision in my opinion. Jermaine says, "Damn, you're going Hollywood." I'm not going Hollywood on anyone. I'm staying true to me. It's not Hollywood. I'm just trying to like, I don't know if you guys saw like what I'm working with right now. You just be like, "Oh, that's sad." And it might make you guys throw a super chat my way or two. But no, I mean, it's mostly just like I wanna produce better content and like just cooler and better looking content. So that's mostly the reason. We got Job in the chat. Welcome, Job. Good to see you. Good afternoon. We got Juggernaut097, my good friend Juggernaut097, friend of the show who's been on the channel. Thank you for joining me today, man, at least in the chat. Guys, go subscribe to Juggernaut097 on YouTube. He's a great guy. We love Justin. And, yeah, he puts out some great content. I think I've been watching some of his shorts lately. But yeah, no, go check out Juggernaut. Great stuff. Friend of the show. Good to see you. And makes a great point here. Willow has a lovable trait about her. Yes. Willow has this lovable, infectious trait that just makes you want to root for her. And not a lot of people in professional wrestling have that. Not a lot of people in professional wrestling are able to make you feel the way that Willow Nightingale makes you feel when her entrance comes in. Like I said, the joy is just infectious. And when she gets in the ring, she's ready to go. She could destroy you. And she's done that to many of her opponents. I love it. I love the way AEW's built her up and made her feel like a big deal. And this win in the Owen Hart Cup makes it even bigger, makes her even bigger. I can't wait to see what she does next. We got Job in the chat saying, "I had to tape Collision last night. Have not gotten around to watching it yet." Well, I will say a lot of the show is going, outside of the Willow stuff that I already mentioned, a lot of the other part of the show is going to be like a big Collision spoiler. So whatever I'm talking about, like what I'm going to talk about next is a big Collision spoiler. I don't want to spoil it for you if you don't want that. So just know that we're going to be talking about some of the results from Collision since it was last night. But I will also say this: the man, last night, I got this weird feeling with Collision like lately, like AEW in a weird way has made Collision must-see television. And for a show on Saturday night at 8 p.m. with that time slot, with the fact that people are out doing whatever they do on Saturday nights, they're out partying, like people have better things to do on Saturdays. But given that, regardless of that, AEW has done a great job of building these shows up to mean something, to feel big. Like the Owen Hart Cup matches being on Collision make it feel big. The fact that you have CM Punk exclusive to Collision makes it feel big. The fact that FTR and the Bullet Club Gold and Bullet Club Gold are absolutely kicking each other's asses every week on that show makes it feel big. And the fact that they're having some of the best matches that you'll ever see on TV on that show, it just goes to show you, even though they have that time slot, AEW is not going down. They're not saying, well, if we get 400,000, it's whatever. No, they're like, let's maximize this. Let's build this up, and let's make sure we get as many eyeballs on this product as humanly possible. I love that. I love the way they're going about it. It makes me want to watch Collision, and Collision's a show that I want to watch every single week live. Does that happen every single week live? No, but Collision is a great show, and Juggernaut, I kind of agree with you. Collision is like a lot of people are saying Collision is better than Dynamite. I still got that prime taste in my mouth. It's like it is. Okay, I'm gonna have to get some San Pellegrino to wash that down. Oh man, that prime was weird. Um, Juggernaut says, I feel like Collision is better than Dynamite, and a lot of people do agree with you. Like, the thing about Collision is AEW has done such a great job of differentiating Collision and Dynamite, not just with the fact that CM Punk is exclusive, not just with the fact that you'll only see the Elite on Dynamite and all that stuff, but in the way that they present the show, the camera angles, the opening of the show. Collision has this great opening, kind of like Saturday night's main event used to have, where you have all the people who are wrestling that night have these quick promos and like it's kind of like an intro to what's about to happen, and it's like an easy like TLDR for the audience. I love that. I think it makes everything seem bigger. It makes everything seem just cooler, and I'm a fan of it. On top of that, they got Elton John playing the intro. They have so many other things. The homage to WCW. It's all great. I love it. The roster, the wrestling, the commentary. Like, we don't talk about that as much. The commentary on Collision has been absolutely impeccable. Ian Riccaboni, I almost called him Desmond Wolf again. Man, I am like stuck calling Nigel McGuinness Desmond Wolf because I got introduced to him during his TNA run. And ever since then, I'm just like, Desmond Wolf. I'm like, no, it's Nigel, you dingus. Anyway, but no, AEW Collision's commentary has been perfect. Like, Collision's commentary to me is the best commentary you'll hear on wrestling TV nowadays. Like Nigel McGuinness is not only a breath of fresh air for commentary, but he's needed because he adds so much. FTR versus Bullet Club Gold was a great match, but it became an all-time match thanks to the commentary that Nigel McGuinness and Ian Riccaboni provided. Like, the passion with which Nigel speaks, the expertise with which Nigel speaks is like there's nobody else in wrestling who's doing that at that level. Excalibur used to, but now Excalibur's kind of had to do a little bit more of the play-by-play stuff as JR was phased out, and we know damn well Tony Schiavone ain't gonna do play-by-play like that. So it's a different role that Excalibur's kind of in right now, but man, like, when you have that analyst, like that great wrestling analyst to go along with an Ian Riccaboni, to go along with a Kevin Kelly, it just makes your show feel better, and it adds so much. And that's why I do wish that like AEW on Dynamite would bring in potentially an Ian Riccaboni or a Kevin Kelly or even a Mauro Ranallo if he's available. So Excalibur could kind of go back to being more of an analyst and break these things down better because he's so good at that. Like, there's a reason why, like, he was thought of as like for lack of a better, no pun intended here, lack of a better term, the golden boy as far as the commentary team goes there. So, man, I'm here for it. We got more, and we got Juggernaut asking what kind of prime. So this is like strawberry watermelon. I don't know if I'm gonna drink any more of this, honestly. Like, this is like I'm not saying it's bad, right? It's just really sweet. It's really sweet. Like, I'm kind of sussed out by how sweet this is. The artificial sweetener. Okay, hold on. Let me see. You got citric acid, natural flavor, calcium lactate, caffeine. No shit. Oh my god. Sucralose. Okay, I'm gonna look that up and see what that is. This is sucralose. This is what's happening, guys. So sucralose is a general purpose sweetener found in various foods, including baked goods, beverages, chewing gum, gelatin, and frozen dairy desserts. So yeah, I wonder how much sucralose do you put into this? This is like, it's like still like I drank the San Pellegrino and it's like still like lingering. Like, that is, it's a lot of sweetness. There's a shout out to Walter Payton, R.I.P. Rest in peace. We got Job in the chat saying, honest question for you, why are critics saying after 4 weeks that Tony Khan should give up on Collision due to ratings? I mean, I don't know if there are a lot of legitimate critics saying that out, like, because it depends, right? Like, I think there are a lot of people with agendas against AEW who are saying that a Collision is a massive failure and the AEW is a massive failure. I think there are a lot of that. Like, Eric Bischoff is going to say that because he hates Tony Khan for whatever reason. He doesn't like AEW for whatever reason. Jim Cornette hates AEW. He has an agenda. He's going to hate on them no matter what. Like, these are people who are incentivized through their audience because of the way they react to AEW content. They're incentivized to hate it, and they're incentivized to critique it, even when there really isn't a critique there. Collision doing 500,000 views is what most, I think, legitimate people expected. That's what I expected. It's apparently what Warner Brothers expected it to be, at least to begin with. Are the numbers likely going to go down? Yeah, because you have college football coming up, and you have all these other things that are happening. But to call this a failure, I think it's not honest. Like, if they go down to like 300,000 people watching a week, like, then we can start to critique it. If it gets to 250,000, then yeah, it's a bit of a failure. Yeah, but like right now, I mean, it is just, it's not, I'm not even saying it's too early. Well, it is too early to tell, one, but like, we're also like, let it play out. Let's see, where are we 6 months from now? What I really want to see is, how does Collision fare against, Saturday night college football, against big games on college football? That's the real test for AEW Collision. It's not the summertime. Like, this is the best for Collision right now. It's the best it's going to get. This is as good as the ratings are going to be for Collision outside of something big like John Cena, Goldberg, or something like that happening. Outside of that, like, this time, the summertime before football starts up, is the best ratings you're going to get if you're Collision, if you're Tony Khan, if you're AEW, if you're Warner Brothers Discovery. And like, the real test is what happens when you have Alabama versus Clemson, or Alabama versus Auburn, or Alabama versus LSU, Alabama versus Georgia on Saturday night prime time, something that millions, tens of millions of people are going to watch, and it's likely going to take a bit of views away from Collision. What are you going to do then? How are you going to position yourself in those moments? That's what really is going to be the test. And will it even matter? Like, that's the other thing, because football is such a big juggernaut in America that sometimes, like, no matter what, you could put the biggest thing up against it, it ain't going to succeed. So we'll see what happens there. But I am with you, Joe. I just think, I mean, like, it's hating. It is hating. Like, it's it's not, it's dishonest. Like, we all, like, it's dishonest. It's like the same people who say that, it's the same people who say, like, WWE is failing because, like, the bloodline is going wrong for too long or whatever. I'm like, that's not true. Like, WWE is a very, like, well, let's be honest about this, because I know I get a lot of hate for being an AEW mark or whatever. Like, it's not even close right now. WWE is the hottest professional wrestling company in the world right now, and it ain't even close. From selling out Raw, selling out SmackDown week after week after week, selling out pay-per-views, selling tens of thousands of tickets everywhere they go. They are the biggest and best wrestling company on the planet, and it's not AEW. They're not even close right now. And that doesn't mean that AEW is a failing company. That doesn't mean that AEW is a bad company. That doesn't mean that AEW isn't still the second best company in the world. WWE is just on a different level right now. A lot of it is attributed to the bloodline, but you also have them really leaning in and building stars like an LA Knight, building stars like a Grayson Waller, laying that foundation, getting people excited about their talent. And it's not perfect, don't get me wrong, and a lot of it is still not my cup of tea, but you have to recognize that there's a reason why it's successful. There's a reason why, like, you can have WWE at Madison Square Garden. It can sell 18,000 tickets, and people can charge like $200 per ticket. Like they're just big. They are Disney, and they're at that level. Like, it's WWE. They are an institution at this point, and again, that's not a bad thing. It's just who's hotter right now. Like, AEW, I love AEW, but like, let's be honest, like, WWE runs Boston with if we stack it to the level AEW has, if WWE ran Boston in the TD Garden, they'd sell over 10,000 tickets. Like let's be honest. And again, it's people think like, oh, it's a criticism. You hate AEW. No. It's not like it's the reality. It's just one company's 4 years old, the other company is like 40 plus. Actually, no, like nearly like 70 years old. If we really want to talk about it, so let's just really be clear about that. We got more questions in the chat, guys. By the way, want to very, very, very much thank you all for getting us to 12,000 subscribers today. I appreciate all of y'all for the love that you've given the channel. I appreciate all of y'all who've checked out videos, the shorts, everything. It really, really does validate all the work that I put into this channel. And it's the reason why I'm like trying to like make room and make sure that I like up my production value on some of my videos a little bit more. Like the news videos and the streams are still gonna have like this is the backdrop for the most part, but you know I'm trying to have like in studio stuff going. There's a few different things I'm working on as a small way to thank you guys for the support and the love that you've given me and the channel. I really do appreciate that. So thank you all. Mwah. As Kenny Omega say, well, we're not saying goodbye and good night because we're not done yet. But I just really do appreciate all of you. Who do we got in the chat? We got a bunch of chats. Guys, by the way, if you haven't already done so, do me a big time favor. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever new videos release. I haven't even talked about the two things that are in the subject of this, the title of this stream yet, but we will. We got Juggernaut talking about the Prime. I have that in my fridge. I haven't tried it yet. It is sweet, bro. Like, do I even want... I'll take one more step for y'all. It is sweet. In a bad way. I mean, like... okay. It's super sweet, man. That's all I'll say. It's super sweet. Like, I'm sure, like, this is... I'm sure it works. Like I'm not saying like the end. Like, here's the thing: you don't drink an energy drink because it necessarily tastes good. Like Red Bull tastes like shit, right? But you're drinking energy drink to get energy. So like, I'm not criticizing this as an energy drink. It's just the artificial sweeteners out the wazoo. Like at least with Red Bull, like I don't need to pretend like it's sweet. I'm just like, we're chugging it, we're going, and I am writing this essay, I'm editing this video, I'm doing whatever, right? With this, it's like, oh, okay, all that, and I have to, like, taste the sweetener? Like, I don't know. I'd rather just drink the Red Bull. We got Juggernaut saying it's very low in carbs. Well, look, do I look like a kind of guy who's concerned about carbs? A little bit, maybe a little bit. We got Carl Taylor in the chat saying, what do you think about the situation going on between Jungle Boy and Hook? I think that what's going on between Jungle Boy and Hook is interesting. So I was concerned, and I always have been concerned with what would happen when Jungle Boy finally goes out to be a real singles act without a Christian Cage or without someone else kind of helping him on the mic, because we kind of saw what happened when he cut his first heel promo against Hook. Yes, it's important for Jungle Boy to get exposure, to get the experience and the practice of cutting these promos. But as a company, AEW needs to do a better job of preparing him, because right now he's not at that level. He is not at the level where he can be going out there for 10 minutes and cutting a promo by himself. And I'm not saying I could do it better. I am not saying I could do it better. It is just as a viewer, what I notice, what I see. So if I'm, and like Hook is a guy who doesn't do promos. Like he shows up, beats people up, and leaves. That's his entire gimmick, and it works, and you shouldn't mess with that formula. So when you have a guy on one side who doesn't cut promos because he doesn't need to, and then a guy on the other side who cuts promos but they're really bad, you're stuck here in a weird place where anything but a match is going to be subpar, is going to disappoint. So I'm thankful that we're finally getting this match between Hook and Jungle Boy, but if it were me, if I were the one booking this, what I would have done is probably focus more on backstage vignettes, focus more on like maybe doing a thing where like Jungle Boy attacks Hook in like his training in Syracuse or wherever the hell he lives, right? Like you could I think thinking outside, thinking a little more cinematically rather than like a pro wrestling promo setting would have been better for this feud, because Jungle Boy just isn't there yet. He is not there yet. But you should get him practice. Like, it's not me saying he shouldn't get practice. He should, and you should prepare him better. You should script his promos better. But I don't know. Like, I'm still want to see the match because I love Jungle Boy and I love Hook. But if I didn't really know either of them, I'm not gonna act like the promos and the build up has really warranted like me wanting to watch that if I don't already like these guys, right? But that being said, I can't wait for it. Like, again, I'm a huge fan of Jungle Boy, a huge fan of Hook. I think that when it gets to the in-ring part, like, Jungle Boy's one of the best, and he's proven that. It's just he needs to connect. They need to find a way to make Jungle Boy connect with the fans on his promos. They need to find a way to make him just resonate better on the mic, and I don't know how you do that. Maybe you script it better. Maybe you put it in a different setting rather than just in the ring, but you got to do something here. Job in the chat says, do you think MJF and Adam Cole may be impossible to break up because they are so over? I think Tony Khan has got a monster on his hands. Look, this kind of reminds me in a weird way of, you remember when they put Stone Cold and Triple H together as a tag team back in 2001? You probably don't. A lot of you are very young. But back in like 2001, after WrestleMania X7, the two-man power trip was a thing where Triple H and Stone Cold, who was then the WWF champion, they won the tag titles, and they like went on like a tear. They cut like these weird promos, and they were just badasses, having like badass matches, like all that stuff, being exactly who they were. I think you could do a very similar thing with MJF and Adam Cole, baby. And I think it would actually be a little more entertaining because then Austin was kind of doing that corny stuff. And I know MJF does a lot of corny stuff himself, but like the stuff they've been doing has been legitimately funny. Like they're bonding. I want more. I want more of the team bonding. I want all of that. And then MJF can, turn on and beat up Adam Cole. Like if they get a tag team title run out of this, I won't be complaining. We got Phil in the chat. Hey, brother. Welcome. We got Cult of Cornette from Phil. Oh, no. I'm sorry I buried Jim Cornette earlier. I'm not sorry I buried Jim Cornette, but it's okay. We can still all like wrestling. Love you, Phil. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, it is, but I feel like AEW is a better show with more storylines. I think if we're talking about consistency with storylines, okay, AEW is probably better, but it's not even close who has the biggest storyline now. And I love BCC versus Elite, but like the Bloodline, it legitimately might be the greatest story in professional wrestling history. By the way, go watch my video about that and how WWE should end the Bloodline in the archives right now. I think that video is doing pretty well, as far as things are concerned. Like, yeah, that video just hit 8,000 views, so thank you, guys. I love all y'all. We got Job in the chat saying, I wouldn't say AEW is the best. I think AEW has a better product. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, because there's this, like, subjective versus objective view of things, right? You can objectively say that WWE is a bigger and right now a hotter company than AEW. I think you can objectively say that given all the metrics and everything, right? But as far as like what company is better and putting out a better product, that's completely like up to you. That's subjective. That is up to the fans, and you can like AEW, you can not like AEW, you can like WWE, you can not like WWE, and you can like not like either, and you can like something like GCW or TNA or whatever, right? That's the best part about pro wrestling. That's the best part about the community I'm trying to build. I do my best, like I do my best not to like get y'all like riled up and like hating on one company or whatever. And y'all just do that in the comment section anyway. But like, I really want this to be a community where we can talk about the wrestling that everyone likes. Like, if you like Impact, I want to hear about it. And I'd love to do, like, an Impact stream. I know I haven't had time for it lately, but I want to do stuff like that. And if people like AEW, I want to do AEW streams. If you don't like AEW, I want to do WWE streams. Like, that's the whole, like, vibe I'm trying to go for here. And, yeah, I think you can think whatever is the best. AEW is a throwback to old school. Yeah, it is true. AEW does do a lot of old-time callbacks. We got Carl in the chat saying, I've been watching wrestling since I was 4 years old. I'm 42 now, so I grew up on that. I got to meet the British Bulldog, and I still have a picture that I took with him. Yeah, man, there were a lot of callbacks, by the way, to the British Bulldog on Collision this past weekend, or yesterday, I should say. Yeah, no, man. Davey Boy Smith was like primetime Davey Boy Smith back in the early 90s was just on another level. Like people forget, people see like, big roidy British Bulldog from the early 2000s and the late 90s, and when he was wearing like those jeans and all that, and I was like, no, that wasn't even him though. That wasn't really him. That was because like, man, early Davey was so good. It was so good, and like so good that like at SummerSlam '92, man was blasted out of his mind. Like didn't even know where he was, and along with Bret Hart, he pulled off one of the greatest endings to a pay-per-view ever. Like absolute banger. So yeah, big shout out to British Bulldog. We got Job in the chat saying, I'm 67 and I've been watching since the 60s. Look at that. Look at that. You're the one fan of Dynamite. You're the one fan. You're the one person over the age of 50 who watches Dynamite. I love that. No, but jokes aside, all love here, Job. It's just I've looked at the stats of my audience, and like a lot of my audience is like under 25, younger than me. So, but no, age is but a number, my friend. We got Carl in the chat saying, you're welcome. Well, thank you. We got Job in the chat saying, grew up on Terry Funk, grew up on Ricky Romero, Lord Alfred Hayes, JC Dykes, and the Infernos, Bull Ramos. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this picture of Terry Funk that's going around recently. Like, he doesn't look to be in good shape. I mean, I hope he is. I hope I'm wrong. But, like, obviously, like I think, I don't know. I don't want to actually speak on his health, but yeah, no. Big shout out to Terry Funk. Big shout out to Terry Funk and Lord Alfred Hayes. Lord Alfred Hayes. Big shout out to him. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, I think Jungle Boy might give Hook his first loss. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that at all. Because, oh my God, they would do that though. Oh, I don't know. Hopefully it's a good match. That's all I'll say. Job in the chat says, more that I saw live. Adrian Adonis, who they just put out a Dark Side of the Ring episode on, his life and his tragic death. Go check that out if you guys haven't already. Dark Side of the Ring, Adrian Adonis. I wasn't as familiar with his career. I know who he was from, the early days of WWF, but I wasn't as into like him and everything he was doing after that, or before that. I didn't even know it, but I watched like a bunch of it after that Dark Side of the Ring episode. I went back and I binged a bunch of his promos, and this guy knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing with those promos. It really was an updated version of Gorgeous George on the mic, and I don't know. I thought that was really cool, and they were also right in that documentary. When I was going back, I was like, holy shit, this guy like was bumping his ass off in every single match. And yeah, no, big shout out to Adrian Adonis, rest in peace. I'm not going to say that second person's name. Harley Race, Dick Murdoch, and my city was the Amarillo Loop. Okay, so that's why you're a big Terry Funk fan too. This all makes sense. Harley Race, by the way, oh God, I'm trying to remember what the promo was. He cut one of the most captivating promos I think I've ever watched. Oh God, he was the NWA Heavyweight Champion, and he cut this promo where it was like one of those. He was looking at the camera like in a way that Harley Race could. Like he was just looking at the camera, but like it was like he was looking into your soul, and he was like, "I will do anything to keep this World's Heavyweight Championship belt. This belt represent like everything." I'm just like, and I was so I need to go back and find that promo. It's still like one of the best promos I've heard like ever. It's just, and it was so simple but like so effective because Harley was the one doing it, and then that's what made him so great. Carl in the chat says, we think that the fight is going to happen between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns again. I mean, I think that's the match at SummerSlam. I believe that's going to be the match at SummerSlam. I think that Jey Uso should beat Roman Reigns. The storyline would make it just would make so much sense. Like, Jey Uso beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the WWE Universal Championship would make so much sense. everything that has happened up until this point is because of Jey Uso. From Roman Reigns becoming the tribal chief, Jey Uso submitting to him, Jey Uso crowning him essentially the tribal chief. It all started with Jey, and it has to end with Jey. Every single turn this story has taken along the way, the most pivotal character has not been Roman, it's always been Jey. And Roman's been the villain. Roman has always been the villain of this story, and this is a story that has lacked heroes, but all the while, there always was this hero who was there in the background this whole time, and it just took till now for everyone in the story to realize that it was always Jey. I think it should be Jey. I doubt he's going to win the belt, but if I was WWE, you want to cap off this story, the greatest story in wrestling history, you have to give it a satisfying ending. The ending to this story means way more than anything you could do afterwards. End it right. Jey Uso should win. We got a lot of chats to go here. Carl in the chat says, Jungle Boy is a good wrestler. He got a lot of moves and a skill set. He just needs to be pushed more in doing singles matches, gain victory. I mean, he has like the most victories. I think he has the most wins in AEW history. Like, I don't even think it's like a thing of more victories. I think he just needs to get on the mic and he needs to develop a character. He just needs to develop a character. That's the one thing, the big thing that I believe is missing with Jungle Boy Jack Perry. He should develop a character. I should move on and talk about some of the other things we got here. I will get to your chats, guys. You want to guarantee your question or statement gets read out on the air, and in that moment, be sure to leave a super chat. It's a great way to support the channel. And if you can't, totally understand, but please do hit that like button and subscribe. Guys, let's talk now about this match. FTR versus the Bang Bang Gang, Bullet Club Gold. 58 minutes of the best professional wrestling you will ever see on television for free. They went out there at the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and put on, I think, one of the best, if not the best, televised tag team match of all time. Like, the near falls were insane. We didn't think that FTR was going to pull this out. Like, at the end, I was like, they are really, like, they're about to beat them. I'm like, give it to Bullet Club Gold. They outworked FTR in this match. Give it to them. Of course, FTR picked up the victory, but there were so many moments in that match where you were genuinely like, damn, this is, like, it just kept on getting better and better and better. And that's the best thing about a great match. When you know it's great, but it keeps on getting better and better and better and raising the stakes, that's the sign of like an all-time match. There's a reason I've been calling this the instant classic. It's like an instant classic as far as the tag team match goes. One of the best tag team matches I've ever seen. One of the greatest televised wrestling matches of all time. I think a lot of people would say this is better than Omega versus Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam 2021. I wouldn't say that because that's like my favorite match of all time. But this was so good. Like, if you have not seen this, go to the TNT app, go on your DVR, go wherever the hell you got to go. Watch this match. 58 minutes of your life will be well spent watching this match. It is that damn good. And it really does show you, like, for all the flack that people have given Jay White, for all the flack that people have given Jay White about not going to WWE when WWE was the one who didn't call him back, but that's besides the point. But for all that, it really goes to show Jay White is a guy who was going to be successful no matter where he ended up because he's got it in the ring, the character is there, and he's so good on the mic, and he's just, it's like second nature to this guy as far as what to do, where to be, how to do it. Jay White is one of the best at this. Sports entertainment, pro wrestling, whatever you call it, he's one of the best at this there is in the entire world, and he's proving it week in, week out through his work on AEW Collision, through his work with Bullet Club Gold, through his work with someone who I think has been overlooked in this. Like, a few years ago, Juice Robinson was in NXT as CJ Parker, and he was doing this gimmick where he would come out with a sign and he speaks for the trees, man, because the trees have no one else to speak. It was like the Lorax of NXT, and it was fine, but it was such an NXT developmental gimmick, and he knew he wasn't going to get anywhere with that. So what did he do? He bet on himself, and he said, I'm going to go out, try to make it on my own, and he did just that. He went from being this tree-hugging whatever in NXT to being rock hard Juice Robinson, one of the most unhinged and eccentric personalities in the entire wrestling world. And man, was it that was the best decision that he could have made. It saved his career, and it made what he did next matter infinitely more than anything he would have done had he stayed. Like, that's a guy who does not get his flowers as much. That's a guy who doesn't get the due that, I think he's earned. But man, rock hard Juice Robinson is like, he's so good. He's just really good. We got who do we got here? We got BD in the chat saying match of the year is Gunther versus Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. Like, I'm not going to argue with you there. Like, as far as that, like, because, like, here's the thing. Match of the year, all that stuff is subjective. Like, I think I have a list here of, like, so I have a running list, guys, of my best wrestling matches of the year so far. Actually, I can just read this out, like, if you guys want me to. Yeah, I'll just read it out. So, my top 10, I messed that up already. My top 10 best wrestling matches for 2023 so far. At number 10, I have Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo on Dynamite. Just an absolute banger. These two went out there, killed it. Vikingo became a star in this match. Number 9, I got Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley proved why she probably should have been in the main event that night. I get why she wasn't, but man, they killed it. Rhea Ripley is a star. This was her crowning moment, her real crowning moment, and it couldn't have happened against anyone better than Charlotte Flair. At number 8, I have Ospreay Omega 1 at Wrestle Kingdom. Kenny Omega got the victory in this one, and he controlled nearly the entire match, and it really made what happened next way more than I think it would have without this match. And at number 7, BD, I got your match. At number 7, I got Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. This was the epitome of let's put these three together because we know damn well they're going to beat the ever-living crap out of each other. That's exactly what they did. It was great. It was exactly what it needed to be. And then some. Match of WrestleMania as far as in-ring work, but I don't think it was the match of the weekend for WrestleMania, and I'll get back to that in a second. Number 6, I got Bullet Club. Bullet Club, no. I got BCC versus the Elite, Anarchy in the Arena. Yes, I'm biased because I was there in person, but it was great. It was a mess, and I loved it. At number 5, I got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the tag team titles at WrestleMania in the main event of night 1. Yes. You can say whatever you want. Y'all can say that this was a storyline match. I don't really care. This was absolutely epic. Go back and watch it. At number 4, I have MJF versus Bryan Danielson Iron Man match, AEW Revolution 2023. Greatest Iron Man match of all time. Enough said. Number 3, Omega versus Will Ospreay 2 at Forbidden Door. This was professional wrestling at its finest. Storytelling at its finest. We ate good at Forbidden Door this year. Number 2, you got Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns Elimination Chamber 2023. I don't care what anyone says. There will not be another match that matches the vibe, that matches the atmosphere that was there in Montreal at Elimination Chamber. You could argue Sami Zayn should have won, but man, this was a great feeling. And at number 1, my match of the year so far, y'all are going to be really mad about this one. My match of the year so far is Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley, Texas Death Revolution 2023. And it's probably because, I didn't expect it to be that damn good. And it just was wild. I think it was the best hardcore match I've ever seen. I highly recommend everyone go watch it. All that being said, though, I know I just went on a weird tangent there. All that being said, that was definitely the match of WrestleMania. It was, if you like for people who say it's match of the year, I'm not gonna yuck your yum because that's a valid argument to make, and it's hard for me to sit here and disagree with it. It really is. Carl in the chat says, what did Carl say before? What did Carl say before? I don't even know. Well, I'll just read this. And definitely shut up Roman Reigns' mouth. Yep, that's probably what needs to happen. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, I just don't think that Jay is worthy or talented. Cody has failed at it, being the guy at every point in the wrestling life. Cody, against Kenny, against Chris, against Roman. He's waited all his life. He can wait no more. He's going to have to wait till WrestleMania 40. Like, that's WWE already has this match penciled in at WrestleMania 40. And look, you don't want to drag this Roman Reigns thing out that long. He's already got 1,000 days. He's good. We got Carl. That's true. Jungle Boy then again. That's true. Jungle Boy does need to get more mic and promos. Yep. Put him on Rampage. Jermaine in the chat says, the Bang Bang Gang could use a powerhouse like Wardlow, but the Bullet Club have sold me and are a top faction in AEW. Dude, like, you know what's crazy about professional wrestling? The Bullet Club is the most influential brand in professional wrestling today. Bigger than the Bloodline, bigger than the Elite. You know why? Because the Elite was an offshoot of the Bullet Club, and you could argue that the Usos, who were core members of the Bloodline, took a lot of what they did from the Elite, who were in the Bullet Club at the time. On top of that, who are some of the big stars in WWE? AJ Styles, Finn Balor, like, that you got that influence there. 2 former world champions there. You have in AEW the Elite, all of them. Adam Cole, baby, like all of it's just full of Bullet Club gold. New Japan, Bullet Club, TNA's Bullet Club, everyone's Bullet Club. They are the most influential brand. They have hit every single major promotion throughout the entire world, and they've hinted towards it. Like in WWE, you had the 2 suites going on. Like you have people doing 2 suite, and that just shows you how influential this group has been. Like, say what you want. They are like, people are like, oh, well, they'll never be as big as the NWO. Bullet Club, if we're being real, I'm not talking about the actual group. I am talking about the influence of the group today. Bullet Club is bigger than the NWO as far as influence over professional wrestling. They literally started another promotion because of that group. Like, if it wasn't for the Bullet Club, there would be no AEW. That's how big they are. I know people are gonna hate that take, but it's just the truth. It's just the real take truth. Oh man, we got Jermaine in the chat says matches to watch: MJF versus Bryan Danielson. Absolutely. We got Jermaine saying Cody versus Roman are underrated. 4 Pillars 4-way was also a masterpiece. I was there for the 4 Pillars 4-way. That was also great. Like the other problem, right? I get it, right? Like, I'm never going to satisfy anyone with any list that I come up with professional wrestling because, you know, different professional wrestling hits differently for different people. And, you know, the other thing is that, like, it's just when you have so many amazing all-time like type matches, right, in the matter of 6 months, like we've been eating good this year. We've been eating really good because you could argue, like, there's, like, probably 25 top 10 worthy like matches of the year so far, and the year's like still only like just over half being over. So man, like I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum. Like there's been so many great matches. Job in the chat says, I'm sorry, I just don't watch WWE anymore, so a lot of these up and comers whom I have no idea who they are. Hey man, like one person that you definitely got to pay attention to is LA Knight, who used to be called Eli Drake. Big shout out to LA Knight though. I'm glad he's getting as over as he is. I'm still mad that at the Madison Square Garden show that I went to, they didn't have him come out during the live show. They had him come out during the pre-show. I was in line for food, and I was like, oh, damn it. So I got to get out of line and watch LA Knight just beat up Top Dollar. Like, Top Dollar, like LA Knight just came out for a pre-show and beat Top Dollar. Like, come on now. Oh, we got testosterone in the chat. What's up, testosterone? Is saying, yeah, yeah. I was like, wait. It took me a second. It took me a second to realize. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the other thing, right? I like the one thing. Okay, so I went to this Madison Square Garden show. And it made me remember why I don't like going to WWE shows anymore. And it has nothing to do with the product right now. The product right now in WWE is great, and they put on such an amazing show. But yo, and AEW fans do a lot of things that annoy me, but it's so weird. The one thing that really pisses me off and like sours me on the crowd is when they start doing the what chant. I hate the what chant. The worst thing that Stone Cold ever did throughout his entire career was creating the what chant. As cool as it was when he did it and when he was around in the ring doing the promo, as cool as it was, we never needed it after Stone Cold was done wrestling. It's just stuck around. It's ruined careers. It's ruined promos. It's ruined moments. I hate it. It ruins for me the atmosphere in the arena because nobody takes anything that's going on in front of them seriously as long as that chant's going on. And some wrestlers are able to overcome it. A lot aren't. It just sucks for everyone. I hate it. Get rid of it. Censor the what chants forever. Please. Jeez. Like, it's literally the worst chant in professional wrestling. We got Joe up in the chat saying, out of those 25 matches, over half of those are AEW. You're damn right. You're damn right. At least for me. I mean, but, like, that's the thing. Like, you can't say WWE hasn't had, like, great... Like, I'm not saying you are, Joe, but, like, there are a lot of people online who are like, oh, man, WWE hasn't had, like, one top 10 match all year. I'm like, all right, cap. By the way, I took 3 sips of this Prime. Bro, I'm already feeling it. This thing should be banned. No cap. Like, I'm feeling the heart palpitations already. Ban this thing, FDA. Holy shit. Oh my God. That is I'm feeling the energy. I'm feeling the heart palpitations. Like, usually when I drink a whole energy drink, I feel like my heartbeat getting a little faster. But this, I took 3 sips. Yo, I'm not finishing this. Who wants this Prime? He wants his Prime. Like, take it from me. I'm not taking it. We got Carl in the chat saying, all happy to see Jimmy and Jay Uso beat Roman Reigns and their little brother Solo too. Yep. Solo Sikoa, baby. Oh man. Do not check your text on stream, guys. We got Job saying, me too. Was that in reference to the what chance? Probably. We got Jermaine saying, how do you feel about G1? Will you be doing New Japan videos in the future? Ha! So you just hit a very, very, very interesting topic there. So as far as the G1 goes, I will catch up on the G1 at probably sometime this week. The issue is there's just there's only so much time honestly I have available to watch things just to watch wrestling in general. Like, it's hard for me to watch all wrestling live. That never happens. But there's few days that work for me to watch wrestling live. Long way of saying eventually I will watch the G1. The issue with New Japan though, it's nothing to do with watching or not watching. The issue with covering New Japan is I can't cover it the same way I would cover AEW, WWE, or Impact or other wrestling companies, because TV Asahi, which is the distributor of New Japan content in Japan, have struck this channel and my previous channel before for covering New Japan, sometimes in a negative light, but using New Japan footage, or not even footage, sorry, I've never used footage for anyone, right? But using New Japan pictures, even they've copyright struck you, they've threatened to take your channels down. It's a weird thing for me. As far as having to cover that, I could do I'd be more than happy to talk about it here, in this setting on Wrestling with Omer, where I don't have to edit and produce those as much. But the thing is, if I'm gonna do it as a full-fledged review of the G1 or whatever, I'd rather have it be a more produced thing with pictures and more engaging stuff that people will enjoy rather than just me talking. But so like long way of saying, I will talk about the G1 when I eventually watch it, like on here or on OT Graps this week. But I will not be doing like videos about on New Japan Wrestling or New Japan news unless it's like absolutely epic and big, because I just don't want to get my channel taken down. Like it's the weird part. Like TV Asahi like is a big problem for New Japan content creators in the States. Like it doesn't happen to all of us, but people who try to cover New Japan, it just de-incentivizes it, and it makes you really sour on it a little bit. Like I did sour on New Japan for a while, honestly, when I got those strikes from TV Asahi. We got Job in the chat saying, went to an independent show last night. These guys work their asses off. They do. Yo, there was one. Hold up. Let me see if I can find this. There was one absolutely insane spot from an independent wrestling show this week. Let's see if I can find this. Sorry, I am looking because like I saw this and it blew my mind because I was like, this made me remember like why I hate not hate. I don't hate anything, but I was like, man, like people need to get paid more in pro wrestling. That's what I said when I saw that shit. Hold up. I am trying to find this. Give me a second. Guys, while I'm finding this, be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Let's see. I know it's here somewhere. Oh, you guys can't even see this, can you? Let's see. I'm trying to find this independent, but yeah, no, independent wrestling shows in general are amazing to go to. Like I recommend like support your local indies. If you're in the Maryland area, 100% check out an MCW show. MCW is probably, in my opinion, and it's not just because I'm a Maryland native. It's probably the best wrestling, like indie wrestling company there is. Like, because I don't really count GCW as an indie wrestling show or an indie wrestling company anymore. They're like kind of like an alternative, but man, like MCW, everyone goes through MCW. Like they're prime time for indie wrestling. Man, let me see. There's a wrestler. There was this one video that was going around that was absolutely insane. I was just like, why would you do this to yourself? Dive? Did he dive? What is happening? I'm trying to find this. Well, I will find it eventually. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, I went to my first AEW event and it was amazing. DC was hot for AEW and the merch was good, but they should have had more. Yeah, that's like, merch has always been a big problem for AEW. I've covered this before. Like, you go to any AEW event, they're only going to have like one or two merch stands and there's going to be a line at the wazoo. It's going to suck. Yeah. I am not a fan of the way AEW does their merch. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Guys, if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. We still have to talk about this pay-per-view thing, right? I don't think I mentioned this pay-per-view thing. Did I freeze, by the way? I don't think I did, right? I don't think I did. But we should talk about this pay-per-view thing because it's a pretty big story. So AEW is right now in the midst of well. Anyway. Okay, I think we are back. I don't know what happened there, but we are back, baby. We are back. The stream died, and we are back. We're going to talk about independent wrestling shows. Support your local indies is all I'm trying to say. We got Mayhem, the Truth in the chat saying, salute to the channel. Salute to you. Jermaine in the chat saying, I went to my first, we already read that. Vince McMahon and Billy Corgan stink. So does the Smashing Pumpkins. Job in the chat. Yo, what is Billy Corgan doing? Like, okay, look, I don't hate EC3. I want to be clear on this. I don't hate EC3, but I'm just like, man, Tyrus is still like. I remember I tuned out NWA because Tyrus was the world champion for a bit, and it wasn't just the politics thing. I was just like, he sucks in the ring. like this is the main reason I don't watch NWA. I'm like, your world champion is ass in the ring, and like you don't really do anything else, and all you do is promote Tyrus. I mean, the Fox News thing is really fucking annoying to me. I'll be honest with you, but like outside, there's a lot of terrible people, or there's a lot of people I disagree with as far as politics goes in professional wrestling. Let's be clear about that. But my G is out here like on Fox News with the NWA belt. I think it's kind of funny. And it was like ridiculous and funny in a ridiculous way the first time he did it. But now I'm just like, all right, like Billy Corgan, what are we doing here? like it's when he wrestles, he's crap. He's dog shit. Like he's not a good wrestler. He should not be. That is making Tyrus your world champion. Let's be clear here. And I know you got me on a Billy Corgan rant. Okay, making Tyrus your world champion hurt your company, Billy Corgan. It hurt your company. It made it worse. It has nothing to do with the fact that this dude is out on Fox News holding your company's belt. It has everything to do with the fact that Tyrus cannot wrestle. This man sucks. He can't wrestle. He can't do moves. Forget flips. He can barely do kicks. He can barely do fists. He's bad. He's bad. And all the work that you did in the years previous of building this belt up, all the work that was done to make the NWA World Championship mean something again, from Cody, from everyone else, from Trevor Murdoch, all the people who worked their asses off to get it. It has fallen so far with Tyrus, freaking Tyrus, as the NWA World Champion. Like, F off. Oh, yeah. Jermaine saying, am I the only one who misses Jamie? She's such a badass and her aura alone is missed. Jamie Hayter, her title reign did not end the way I wanted it to. I thought the title was doing really well with her around her waist. And, not to say it's not doing well, or Toni Storm isn't, great and worthy of being the champion, but her title reign has been kind of a secondary to the Outcast storyline. It's weird. We got Carl in the chat saying, what do you think about Randy Orton coming back to reteam with Matt Riddle? Well, he would have to get healthy first. I've known, apparently there's a lot of reports going around that Randy Orton, was told by doctors that he shouldn't wrestle again. That's how bad his back injury is. Of course, these things can change and develop, but I wouldn't want to see Randy Orton wrestle again unless he's healthy. And if it comes down to his health and wrestling, you got to choose your health every single time if you're Randy Orton. And if that means that his career is over, it's been a hell of a run. 13-time world champion, multiple-time tag team champion, one of the greatest to ever do it. Someone who made it look effortless whenever he did it in the ring. Randy Orton made everything he ever did in the ring look so effortless and so second nature that you were awestruck every single time you watched him in the ring. But then he cut a promo and he sucked. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, Randy Orton's an all-time great. So if we never even see him again, we'll see. We got Jermaine chat saying, hey, we still getting the stream with Trevor on Tuesdays. You guys are hilarious. Yes, we are getting stream on Tuesdays. Maybe not this Tuesday, though, because we both have a conflict. We have a conflicting thing. But every other Tuesdays that we can make it, we will make it work. Thomas is in the chat. Welcome, Thomas, saying Tyrus, more like Asterisk. We got Thomas also saying, can we admit now that FTR can have 5-star matches with two normies? FTR can be great. And the Bang Bang Gang can also be great. Don't hate on the Bang Bang Gang on this channel. No. We don't hate the Bang Bang Gang here. But, look, FTR could have, 5-star matches with freaking brooms if they wanted to. But, that match was great. And it had everything to do with FTR and Bullet Club Gold. Jermaine also says that, do you think that AEW can reach 90K? I think you mean 900K. And if you give a super chat of $70, would you go to All In with Trevor? Okay. You're talking about All In. Okay, so let me I'll answer the last part of that first. It will take more than a $70 super chat for me to go to All In. I will say that. With Trevor. Like, for us, we are not traveling on $70. I already have plans to go to All Out. So I will be at All Out. Like, that's going to happen. To go to All In, for one person, for just me, it would be like more than $70. But look, I will say, how about this? If someone leaves a $500 super chat, I will go to All In. How about that? Do not, no, by the way, also, I want to be clear. This is not me asking for that. Do not, by any means necessary, leave a $500 super chat with that being your intention. Do not spend $500. I'm in a weird position now because I want you guys to send super chats, but I don't want people to waste $500. But I'm not saying it would be a waste because it's much. Oh, see, capitalism, baby, getting me, biting me in the ass live on the air. Send your super chats in. We'll see what happens. That's all I'm gonna say here. We got. Sorry. Let me answer the first part of your question too. Will they reach 90K? That they could. Like, we are what, about just over a month away from All In happening, and they are the last count was like 75,000 tickets. They're gonna hit 80 for sure. They haven't announced a single match yet. I would think that when they announce it, they're going to sell, and they're obviously going to get some people at the gate. It's going to, like, I think they can hit 85 for sure. And regardless, 75,000 for AEW, like AEW as a brand selling tickets is a massive victory. I don't care what anyone says. Like, for me, the goal originally for them, like, for me, like, the goal that I had set for this was like, if they hit 50,000, this is a success. They blew that out of the water. They've sold 75,000 tickets. They have the biggest gate of any professional wrestling show in the UK ever. Over $8 million. The biggest gate, bigger than WWE, bigger than Clash at the Castle, bigger than SummerSlam 92. Like, just bigger, better. Like, they did it. Like, that is a massive accomplishment for a company of their size, a company that's as young as they are, I should say. Thomas is suggesting, did you hear Ryback is pitching Goldberg match? So bad it's kind of sad, actually. I kind of have been. I'm not weighing in on any of the Ryback stuff with certain. Here's the thing, I don't want to name names here. There's certain. I'm not going to get into this because I am not trying to get dragged into anything right now. Here's what I will say. There's a lot of weird people on the internet who do weird things. I am not trying to upset any of those weird people on the internet who do weird things. But, yeah, I wouldn't be doing all that. That's all I will say. Thomas also says, I was dissing Bullet Club Gold. I'm just saying FTR should be up there with the greatest tag teams of all time. I think they are. I think FTR is cementing themselves as, is there a better tag team in the world today than FTR? No. They're a generational tag team, an all-time tag team. If you're putting together a tag team Mount Rushmore, they got to be in the conversation. Huston in the chat says, hi there. Hello. Oh, man. Let's talk about this AEW pay-per-view thing because I want to talk about this. So I'm going to just read a bit of an aggregation from Cultaholic. Go check them out, youtube.com/Cultaholic. So this is written by Andrew Kelly of Cultaholic. Excuse me. It says, quote, it emerged a few days back that it was proposed for AEW to increase their pay-per-view schedule and output perhaps even to once a month, much like the schedule of WWE. Fightful Select reported that Warner Brothers, who were the ones wanting this, Dave Meltzer apparently followed this up. Oh God, I hate it when they quote Meltzer because then I have to read it. And Dave Meltzer, I love Dave. I want to be clear. I love Dave. Like he is one of the reasons that I think a lot of people are doing this, like the covering professional wrestling. It's like we're all in a way kind of want to be Meltzers, right? But man, whenever I have to read like quotes of this guy, it's just such a mess because he does what I do, which is interrupt himself mid sentence with an idea, and I get that, but I'm like, I would hate for people to quote me, and I hate reading quotes from him. Anyway, so Fightful Select reported that Warner Brothers Discovery are apparently pitching the idea of doing once a month pay-per-views for AEW. And here was Dave Meltzer's comment on that. He said, and I quote, Fightful reported that WBD wanted AEW to expand its pay-per-view schedule. Since Warner Brothers Discovery, through Bleacher Report, gets a percentage of the streaming buys, of course they would want more shows. And if it's part of a deal for Max to buy the pay-per-view business like ESPN Plus or UFC or Peacock did for WWE, of course they would want to do more shows. From AEW, we've heard that it has been talked about, but it's not a decision that has been made. Okay. So I am of two opinions here because I think from a business standpoint, if you're AEW, you got to do whatever your network partner wants to do, because if the end goal is like you're gonna end up on Max, it's gonna give you a lot of money, you got to take the money, because as a company, like it's about the money at the end of the day. That's how you pay the talent. That's how you grow the business. That's how you make the company bigger. The issue becomes, though, if you do have monthly pay-per-views, what are the pros and cons? For AEW, I think one of the big pros would actually be you would have less lulls in storylines and things would be able to develop a little bit quicker. One of the biggest critiques I have with AEW sometimes is storylines are stretched out, and they do tell good long-term stories, but they also as like almost as frequently just tell stories that are too stretched out and are given like 2 seconds every week on TV, and and they're not like building, each week. It's kind of like, oh, this really cool thing that we were hyped about like for 3 weeks is now stretched out to 3 months, 6 months, and now I'm just like, I don't want to see this anymore. So it would help with a little bit of that, and obviously from a business standpoint, it would make sense. I know, Thomas, you put in the chat earlier that not having pay-per-views every month is what was unique for AEW, and it made those feel special. I agree. I think that special feeling, would kind of go away, and you'd still have your big four pay-per-views, but you also have to remember the biggest that wrestling ever was with WCW and WWF and WCW. They were doing monthly pay-per-views, and they were making a lot of money, and they were putting on some really amazing, awesome shows. So it's possible to do it. Am I a bit wary and fearful of monthly pay-per-views considering what WWE's done? Sure, but then again, I've been wary about a lot of things that AEW has kind of quelled my fear on. I was wary about them when they started. How long is this actually going to last? Is this a long-lasting venture, or is this just like a 6-month thing? Okay, they're getting on TV. How consistently can someone like Tony Khan, who's never booked professional wrestling, book pro wrestling? And I've been proven wrong, and the doubts have been proven wrong for a while. So, give it a chance. We'll see what happens. But monthly would be it would be a big step up for AEW. It would also, though, fix one of their biggest problems, in my opinion. The build to their pay-per-views are absolutely... Bro, how did, every single time they announce all their matches, the week of, Excalibur just goes okay, now we have all these matches announced, and I'm going to go through them. Oh, we did nothing for the past 3 weeks. I'm just like, come on, man. We'll see. Jermaine says once every 6 weeks seems reasonable because they make every pay-per-view feel special. That could be cool. If they... Maybe doing 8 pay-per-views a year, doubling up what you have, would be good. Because here's the thing, too. Between Full Gear, which is in November, and Revolution, which is in, March, it's 4.5 months where you have nothing, right? Where you have no pay-per-views. You could 100% fit a pay-per-view in there. And you probably should. Between Forbidden Door and All Out, you could fit a pay-per-view there. I could see that. And then between All Out and you could fit, so there's places where I think you could fit another major show, and it doesn't have to be this is not you could have your big four that mean the most and you build up the most we have seen, But the stuff that you would normally have like on a big Dynamite, you could have that on your pay-per-view, and you could have it be a thing. Like you could even have Grand Slam become like a pay-per-view thing that they do. So a lot of different avenues here. At the end of the day, they got to do what's best for business. Carl in the chat says, do you think Jey Uso should win against Roman Reigns because the new tribal and become the new tribal chief? Yeah, I think so. I think this story has been building towards Jey the entire time. Job says, agree with Jermaine. Thomas says, do talent want this? That was the selling point to guys and girls getting less harder schedules. I mean, talent want more money, I think, generally. Like, I would argue that AEW's schedule, like, adding a few more events would not make AEW's schedule overall, like, that much harder. I don't think, for everyone. Because not everyone would be on every show. And two, they would be getting paid more, you would think, for being on those shows. And if AEW is able to make this a part of their deal, they would be able to pay their talent more. Like, that's just how the business works. So I think, obviously I'm not going to speak for any of the talent or anything like that, but you would think that, like this would be a bit of a win for the talent because they'd be like, and we get like these ups in our contracts, and we get to be exposed on pay-per-view potentially a little more than we have been, like, especially for like a lot of the mid-tier guys and girls. Job, and that's not me. Like, I mean, I haven't really made up my mind on it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, you got to do what Warner Brothers wants you to do. Job also says, and besides, with money, I have to pay for the cable, and that would be an additional $50. Okay, yeah, here's the thing, right? I need to talk about this. So Andrew Zarian of Mat Men Pro Wrestling reported that the All In show in the UK is going to be available via pay-per-view on Bleacher Report. The price, he did not say what the price was going to be. We don't know what the price is going to be, but it seems like it's going to be available on Bleacher Report. It is the week before All Out in Chicago. All Out in Chicago, usually, like as every AEW pay-per-view so far has been, it costs like $50. If they expect people, not me because I'm insane, but if they expect people, the same 100 or 200,000 people or whatever it is, 150,000 I think is the average number, who buy their shows, I am like twitching right now because of this Prime. 3 sips of this. Ban this, FDA. Like, Jesus. I came into this like I had no agenda. I'm just like 3 sips and I'm already feeling it. Like, I'm twitching. Anyway. What was I talking about? Anyway, back-to-back weeks, 50. If the price for All In is $50 and the price for All Out is $50, you're gonna have to stack those cards, man. You're gonna have to stack those cards. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't get it to work, but like, you gotta stack those. You gotta stack those cards to be absolutely big time. We got Job saying, "Oh, come on, Jey is not world championship material." Hey, man, he's main event Jey Uso. I don't know about what you're talking about. Again, here's the thing, right? The Bloodline storyline means more than the Universal Championship at this point. And I know it's not a popular take, it's a divisive take, but it's the side of the battle that I'm on. Like I think this is the greatest story in professional wrestling history. The ending of this story means more than whatever the hell else you're going to do on SmackDown the next week, whatever the hell else you're going to do on Raw the next week. End it right. Jey Uso should win. It won't happen. It likely won't happen, but Jey should win. We got bro about to Thomas says bro about to explode. He drank nuclear waste. Yo, no bullshit though. This is Jermaine says we should buy a case of No. Says if you're twitching, that means the show will go on until tomorrow. I mean, look, we've already gone on. This is like one of the longest running Wrestling with Omers of all time. We're still going. So, I mean, it's good. It's good. I mean, I haven't done this in a while. Like, I wanted to get another stream up for you guys because I do appreciate all of you. Oh, buddy. What else is going on in the wacky world of pro wrestling? I don't even know. We got Jermaine saying if Jey really was champ material, he wouldn't have been a tag team for his career. That's not true. Like, that's not true. That's not true. I think tag team wrestlers can 100% transition to being, main eventers. Like, He did it. Like, Jey Uso was in the main event with Roman Reigns twice, and both those matches were like great matches. So I disagree. I think Jey Uso is. I think Jey Uso is good. I think he is going to be fine if he wins the belt. It is going to be okay. At the end of the day, it's going to be okay. We all need to remember that. Everything is going to be okay. Let me see. I'm trying to find this damn video. I don't know where it went. We got not so remember when I said earlier with the Ryback thing about like weird internet stuff that I'm not going to get into? That is weird internet stuff I am not going to get into. All I will say is I think it's really awesome the way that Shotzi is able to both advance the storyline and also like honor her family member who's going through that. So I think it's awesome, and big shout out to Shotzi Blackheart or Shotzi. But I ain't getting into all that. Job says no. I think Jermaine has a point. Jermaine asks, "How was the Impact show?" The Impact show was really good. Slammiversary was a very entertaining show. I finished it up this morning. But yeah, I think not Jonathan Gresham. Jesus. Jonathan, could you imagine if Jonathan Gresham like showed back up in Impact? No, but Josh Alexander coming back was absolutely cool. Like, especially the way he like exited Impact Wrestling, like, you know, with the fact that he was going on hiatus and he didn't know when he would be back and all that stuff. Like, it was a bit of a, you know, it's kind of like it was a surprise. So getting to see him come back and you know, he's like face to face like for the world, yeah, it's gonna be cool. We got, oh no, Joe with the most damning evidence, there is. They lost to the Wyatt family. Hey now. By the way, Jermaine, do not. This is not Real Take endorsed. I want to be clear. I do not endorse this. I'm literally like, yo, that's crazy. Hold up. Is it? I feel like I'm twitching more. Like, I'm looking at both the camera and I'm looking at this. I'm definitely twitching more. Like, oh, here we go. Is it? It's not showing up on the camera. Anyway, whatever. I'm feeling it in my heart. That's what matters. Like, this is beating, baby. And I don't know if y'all can tell. Like, I am way more high energy now than I was when I started the show. 3 sips of this crap. 3 sips. Oh, yeah. This should have just drank a Red Bull. Thomas says, I love how EY died in kayfabe in TNA. And then Resurrection. I was talking about that at the beginning of the show. Like this was it was absolute wrestle bollocks. To quote OSW, wrestle bollocks was alive and well. It just amazing. By the way, there's a new episode of OSW out today. Go check them out. YouTube.com/OSDub. Yeah, filthy animals, yo. No, I'm not gonna do a Jay Hunter impersonation. Big shout out to Jay Hunter. But yeah, no. I was texting my friend about this, and he was just like I was like, yo, EY, I thought he died. Didn't he die? And there's like, it's wrestling. And sometimes it's just that. It's wrestling. Same thing with Ray falling off of Titan Tower. Same thing with Aleister Black at the time, falling off Titan Tower or getting thrown off Titan Tower. It's just wrestling. Like, yeah, what are you going to do? Jermaine says, do you think ROH has surpassed TNA as a 4th promotion? ROH now? No. Not even with the AEW stuff. I think TNA is still a degree higher than ROH. I think ROH is probably the 5th. But right now, actually now I'm trying to look. Now I got to do. So like number 1 is we'll do this. Like 1 and 2, because I don't want to get into who's better. I'll just get into 1 and 2 are WWE, AEW, whatever order you want to put them in. Number 3 is GCW. Number 4 is Impact. Number 5, I would say, is ROH. And then you go to whatever you want. Your Defies, your DPWs, your freaking MCWs, whatever you want to call it. but that's the way I would rank it. And then like if we're talking about like in North America, like outside of North America, like you have to put New Japan in at number 3 then, and then move GCW down, and I think you probably, I mean, then you CMLL and AAA too. Like, so it depends what we're talking about. Thoughts on MLW? I have not kept up with MLW lately. Outside of big old Matt Cardona just saying he's gonna join MLW, like I did not see that coming. Job says I got to get some of that Prime. No, you don't. Do not. No. You know what? Not even any sticky on this sticky. Damn it. We are, look, it's already happening. You know what? It's already happening. Yeah. I don't even have a marker and I'm going to do this. Look at this. Look, I'm Real Take Wrestling. I have banned Prime. I need to get this the hell away before I spill it all over my computer. I have banned Prime. It is done. We are no more. This is literally, I'll take a video and post it. Like, I'm pouring this into my freaking toilet. That's what I think of Prime right now. Like it has nothing to do with Logan Paul at all. Like, it has everything to do with like that thing being too damn sweet. Jermaine, as we wrap up, guys, get your last few chats in. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already done so. Go watch my newest video. I released a video earlier today about my thoughts on Muhammad Hassan, who I believe was the most offensive one, at least one of the most offensive, definitely one of the most offensive characters WWE's ever done, arguably the most offensive character in modern WWE history. Job says, great graphics on the Prime can. I will say this. The branding is great. Like, I get, like, as someone who works in digital, someone who's has worked in digital for a while now, I can't hate. Like, the branding is on. Like, they know what they're doing. Like they know the marketing is great. The product, it is effective, arguably over effective, but the sugar content is outrageous. No, here's the thing. It's not even the sugar, right? It's the caffeine. It's the caffeine in this, John. Like, there's allegedly zero sugar. There's hella sweetener. Like, they got that sativa freaking or stevia, whatever that shit is called that Lydia used to drink in Breaking Bad or used to eat or with her coffee in Breaking Bad. There's hella that in there because it tastes like artificial sweetener with a bit of energy drink. Like, I don't trust this. No, like, too much caffeine. That's the real problem. It's not a kids thing, but it's marketed to them. Yeah, because that's like the whole marketing thing. Market everything to kids. It's the same thing with like Juul and everything. Like, they market that shit to kids because it's easy. Jermaine in the chat saying, how do you feel about Collision doing the Barclays Center and Rampage doing an ECW like AEW special or ECW special like AEW Winter is Coming? I think Winter is Coming should always be a Dynamite thing. Collision and Barclays would be cool if they could do it. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. Like, I think WWE has like I'm pretty sure WWE like has the right to refuse on Barclays and MSG. So yeah, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Like, I'm trying to think like what other like outside of they would probably just run Long Island, wouldn't they? Like, because they don't even need to run that. Like, AEW would just run the Prudential Center like they've been doing in New Jersey, in Newark. And then they would also just run, like, if they wanted to go into New York, or closer to New York, they would just go to Long Island and go where the Islanders play in UBS Arena. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to. Thomas in the chat says, is Willow Nightingale the second best female wrestler in the world right now? Because she's really good. I mean, it depends on like your preference. Not even preference. It just depends on like what we're talking about is best, right? I mean, she is, in my opinion, the fastest rising. Like she's going. I think she's definitely going to have a pay-per-view championship match this year, either at All Out or at Full Gear, and she should. Whether or not she becomes champion, I mean, she could actually with Toni Storm as champion, she could be Toni Storm. Yeah, she could. Yeah. Sure. Yes, is my answer to this. As I process that in real time. We got Charles and Jess saying, what's next for Bullet Club Gold? The Bang Bang Gang. Too bad about Ruby Soho. Yeah. I mean, Ruby Soho, it's this weird thing. When Willow won, I was really excited, but I was also like, damn, Ruby lost again. Sucks. As far as Bullet Club Gold, I don't know. Like, I really don't know what you. Well, like I mean, I think the FTR thing has kind of like run its course, but then again, like you could just run this back. You could add, you could add someone to Bullet Club Gold again. You could add some Mojo or run like a trios match with Punk. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could do. You could even have Bullet Club Gold like team up with the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega and do like a CM, like the CM Punk match that way. Like, there's a bunch of stuff you could do. We'll see. I really do want to see though, like eventually, whenever Kyle O'Reilly is back or whatever, or whenever they can do this, I do want to see like, the three like different versions of Bullet Club in AEW, like the Elite, the Undisputed Elite, like Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Bebe, and all them, and Bullet Club Gold, the Bang Bang Gang. Like, I want to see that. I want to see, like, I don't know how you do it, but like if we can get like a 3-way trios tag match or 3-way tag match between those groups, I want to see it. Yeah, it's Jermaine saying ranking top female wrestlers in the world. I assume this is Jamie number 1, Britt, Ruby, Bayley, Mercedes. Man, who? I feel. Here's the thing. I'm thinking about this. I mean, Bianca Belair has to be in your top 5. I'm sorry, or she's in my top 5. We'll say Bianca Belair has to be in my top 5. Right now, at least, like she's just so good. She's so good. I would have Becky in my top 5 too, because she's just like the best. But Britt also, I'm like Booker T now. I feel like Booker T in 2011 was like, every wrestler in this Royal Rumble is in my Fave 5. I'm just like he had this Fave 5. Thanks, Chucky Dougie. Quack quack with the greatest of ease. Jermaine says, I've given up. We're never getting Bullet Club Civil War. Damn it, we can get the Bloodline Civil War. Oh my God, we lost it, didn't we? We lost the cam. We lost the cam. Is it coming back? Hopefully it's coming back. It's back. You're damn right. See, it was such a big, so bombastic. So bombastic that was we lost our camera. Bro. To quote Vince Russo, bro. I've been waiting for this this Bullet Club Civil War like 10 years, and we haven't gotten it. We didn't get it in WWE. We haven't gotten it in AEW. We've gotten like 8 Civil Wars with Bullet Club in New Japan, but nobody cares about that because the main people are all in other companies. You got to do it. I don't care how you do it. If you're AEW, get Kenny and the Bucks on one side, put Adam Cole and the Bang Bang Gang on the other side. I don't care if you're WWE, do Finn Balor on one side, AJ. Do it. Someone needs to take credit. It is just like, it's egregious that neither company has found a way to do a Bullet Club Civil War this far into their existences, this far into all of this. It is promotional booking malpractice that the Bullet Club Civil War hasn't happened in AEW or WWE. They got to do it. It's right there. There's so much money in it. Just do it. Damn, that Prime worked. Thomas Scott saying Bobby Fish is somewhere getting noticed. Folks, where's the lie? It's the greatest thing. Like, Bobby Fish should retire today. There's nothing else in his career he'll ever do better than Folks, Where's the Lie? It is the greatest thing he has ever done / will ever do. Eclipsed everything he did with the Undisputed Era in NXT. Like, by far. Folks, where's the lie? Bully Ray is a locker room politician. And folks, where's the lie? absolutely amazing. The you could hear a rat piss on cotton. That's how quiet it was. Job in the chat says, "What about the rumor that Collision had an after-show meeting and there was no Dynamite members?" I mean, what do you mean by Dynamite members? I mean, like they've had meetings on Dynamite. Like there are people who only work Collision, like Andrade Alidlo, um, um, Thunder Rosa, Andrade Alidlo, Miro, Punk. Obviously, they only work Collision, so they're not at Dynamite for the Dynamite meetings ever. The same thing happens in WWE. SmackDown people work SmackDown. They're not at Raw tapings, or they're on tour like during Raw. Um, so I mean that's just normal. Job in the chat says, "Bring back Rebel." Hell yeah, bring back Rebel. Oh my God, the camera. We're having a day with the camera, aren't we? The camera is having a moment right now. Jermaine in the chat says, "It's horrible. No Bullet Club at Forbidden Door." At egregious. That too. Absolutely egregious. You know what hasn't been egregious though? The fact that we have been live for over an hour and a half, and you guys have been as engaged as you are. I think Sunday might be a good time to do this show in general. We'll see how long that lasts with the NFL season coming up. But guys, I've appreciated all of you. I really loved the questions and the energy that you guys brought today. We'll answer a few more chats, but then I really got to head out and I have to eat. I haven't eaten today, so I should probably go eat. But I really appreciate all of you. Guys, if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We got Thomas in the chat saying, "Thoughts on Pillman Jr. at the PC?" I mean, he's a talent. Like there is something there. Like he's good. He's good in the ring. There's a lot of potential there. Needs to work on it on the mic a lot. I love Brian Pillman Jr., but I know I have made fun of him on this channel for his tone. It's like, Malachi Black, you ruined my career. Like I'm just like, oh man, like I can't. I love you, Brian. But needs to work on that promo. But I think the Performance Center could help him immensely with that. WWE's really good training people, especially people who have the potential of a guy like Brian Pillman. Yeah. We got Jermaine saying, "I think Ruby Triumph will make sure her win is sweet." I mean, I hope so. I hope eventually she wins something. Job says, "Love the show. Love you too, my brother." Job says that Prime should kill your appetite. You know, fun fact though, it didn't. It did not. Anyway, guys, I'm heading down. I'm heading out. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for spending your Sunday evenings with me. If you guys haven't already done so, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. How's JR doing? I have no idea. But he's tweeting about Collision and all that stuff, so he's hopefully doing better. It was a bad fall that he took. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you for getting us to 12,000 subscribers. It's really due to, like engaged and awesome fans like you guys who tune into these streams that, I've been as motivated to build up this venture into what it is. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real.